Hi everyone, for today's video I'm going to be showing you how to replace the brake pads if you have a disc brake like this. This particular vehicle is a Honda Odyssey 2007 EX, so if you have a 2005 to 2010 Odyssey, the procedure is exactly the same. If you have a different car, just continue watching because the procedure are all the same. The only difference is the part numbers that you have. So basically you'll have your disc, rotor, and then you're going to have your brake pads right here. So taking this out and putting in a new one is going to be the same. You might just have a different looking hardware, but the procedure and the basic of it is the same. And if this is your first time watching my video, please make sure to click the subscribe button. I do a lot of DIY videos from vehicle maintenance, home maintenance, pool maintenance. So if you are a homeowner, car owner, or a pool owner, make sure to join our channel so you can get updated on the future videos that I'm going to upload. The first thing that you want to do is remove the cap from your brake reserve container, and basically you just twist it and just put this aside. And if you have a rag, you want to put some rag under this, okay? Or if you have any catch pan that you can put it under, you can do that too. And the reason we're doing this is later on when we compress the piston, all this fluid are gonna go back up, and also since you're gonna have a thicker brake, some fluid are gonna be overflowing right here, okay? Okay, so this is your brake caliper, and you can notice here you'll have a screw right here and another screw here. You have a screw there as well. You can see here also in the back you have some screws there as well to actually remove and clean your caliper. So you can choose to remove that or you can choose not to. So I'm gonna show you both options, okay? And if you have a Honda Odyssey, the screws right here are 14 millimeter. The screw in the back right here is a 19 millimeter. So if you're just interested in quickly replacing your brake pad, all you need to do is loosen the top 14 millimeter and remove the 14 millimeter at the bottom right here. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and loosen this. Okay, and then I'm gonna remove this right here. And once you do that, you want to get a wire so you can hang this. Okay, so all you need to do is lift this thing up. And what I did is I just hang this caliper up here, okay, with a hanger so that this thing will remain open. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to remove the brake pads here. So to remove the brake pads here, all you have to do is remove it this way and remove the other one this way. Okay, and then you want to grab the new brake pad. I'm going to show you how to prep the brake pad once I actually remove the whole place. Okay, so to put your new brake pad in, all you need to do is just snap it in. So you go like this way, and then just snap it in place, okay? And then this one here, you go like this and snap it in place. And basically you just want to put this thing back in, screw it back in, and that's how you replace the brake pads if you just want to do that, okay? But if you want to do it correctly, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove this and I'll be cleaning up the caliper as well. So let me go ahead and remove this. Now since you remove this, you want to be careful with this because this line here is your brake line. You don't want to kink that or put pressure on it, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and hang this again. Now this thing is hanging, and you can see here I can actually remove this brake pads right here. And I'm doing this because since it's already open, I'd rather have everything cleaned up before putting everything back in. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove this two screws right here. So this is the 19 millimeter. And if this is your first time removing this, I just want to let you know this is really hard to remove because this thing is basically stuck into that position already. So you may need a breaker bar, but since I just replaced this, I still have everything loose right now. Okay, but you're gonna need a breaker bar to remove this screws, this 19 millimeter screws right here. Okay, so I'm gonna remove this. Okay, so now I can use my brake cleaner. So what I'll do is I actually put a box and a rag right here so that when I clean this caliper that everything goes into the box, not in my floor. Okay, and basically you just want to wipe it off, remove all the grease and dirt that you have accumulated there, and always be careful with this line right here. Okay, now for this one right here, you can remove the hardware. You can always reuse this hardware if the hardware from the new brake that you purchase does not exactly match this. So you can always clean that out, and to clean that, you just want to use your brake cleaner to clean it up. And also you want to inspect this. Okay, so you want to press it, make sure it's going back in. Okay, and this one too. So if this thing is getting stuck, all you need to do is remove it. And to remove this, all you need to do is pull this thing out and just put a new grease on it. And I'm not gonna do that because I do not have an extra grease with me. The only grease I have is the one that came with the brake. So let me go ahead and put in the new hardware. First is you want to inspect the new hardware and make sure that it is the same as the old one. And if it does, I would always use the newer hardware. So to install the hardware, I'll just apply a small grease in it. What you can do is you can actually put the grease right here. And then all you need to do is snap the new hardware in, and you just go like this. And make sure that it's snapped correctly, okay? So you want to inspect that, make sure that it's snapped in properly. If it's a little raised, you want to make sure that you push it in, okay? Because if not, you're gonna have a lot of noise when you're braking. Okay, so let me go ahead and grab the other hardware and put it on this side. Just push it in like this. See, when I push it in, it doesn't just snap because sometimes it gets stuck right here. So you want to make sure that you fix it, okay? There you go. And make sure that once you put it on that it's flat, okay? It's not curved. There you go. So I just want to show you this. Took me a while to fix it because I accidentally folded this one here when I was pushing it. So I have to fix it with a plier, okay? Make sure that your hardware is seated properly because that's one of the reasons you're gonna get a lot of noise when you're installing a new brake pads, okay? Now let me go ahead and put this thing back in. To put this thing back in, all you need to do is push this thing in like this and put in the 19 millimeter screws. So just make sure you line it up correctly. There's nothing special to it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do this one as well. So according to the spec, the 19 millimeter should be tightened to 101 foot-pounds. So I'm gonna be using my torque wrench and tighten this up. Here's my torque wrench, and I'm just gonna set this thing up to 101 foot-pounds. Okay, so I'm now at 101 foot-pounds. If you are not sure how to use a torque wrench, you can check my other video. I also have a video on how to use this F-Auto torque wrench. I'll put that in the description as well and at the card above. Okay, do it again. Do it another one. Okay, now we're going to install the new brake pad, and you're gonna notice right here, it's two different things. One of them have a pin like this. So this is your brake sensor. So basically, when your brake becomes too thin, it's going to touch this and it's going to make that squeal. Okay, so for the Honda Odyssey, this thing goes into the back. Okay, so it goes like this. Okay, and before you put your brake pads in, you want to grease the contacts. So I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, to grease the contact, basically just want to grease this part right here. And this right here. So don't put any grease into the front because you don't want your brake to slip when you're trying to stop. But you want to make sure that you also put a grease into the back of your brake so that it can have a nice contact in your piston. So this is your piston right here, okay, that pushes your brake and pulling it out. Okay, so you want to make sure you have a grease right here. Okay, so it will have a nice tight contact. And I will also put some grease right here. Okay, hopefully it protects it from rusting later on. And basically, to put this on, all you need to do is snap it in. Okay, so I'm just gonna go like this and push it in. For this one right here, put some grease right here. Same thing right over here. And here you just want to grease right here on the contacts. Here as well. And of course, you want to grease the back. Okay, make sure you wipe your hands before you put this thing in. And to put it on, you just have to push it like this and snap it in. There you go. So now we're going to be installing this piston back in. And if you remember earlier, we removed the cap from the reserve container. And this thing right now, you cannot just put it back right here because this thing is now thick. You see that? You see how thick this is now? This measurement here is not gonna fit here anymore. You want to compress your brakes back in so you can install it back with your new thick brake pad. Okay, so to do that, I have this right here. So I got this from Amazon. I think it costs about $10-15. To use this, all you need to do is grab your old brake pad and put it right here. Okay, now this one here, so you want to put this right here. Some car will have two pistons, some car will have one piston, but if you have a two pistons, what you need to do is do it one at a time. So you go like this here, push one of the piston in, okay, and then you want to go to the other side and push it in again. You want to do it until both sides of the piston is pressed in. I'll remove my old brake pad, and if you can see right now, they're both pressed in. Okay, so now you can remove this from your hanger and make sure that you put, when you put it back, that you're not kinking this hose. Okay, and all I have to do is slide it right over here. And I'll grab my screw Grab the other one and put it on the bottom, so you have one on top and one at the bottom. And according to the spec, the 14 millimeter should be tightened to 37 foot-pound. Okay, so I set my torque wrench to 37 foot-pound. Let me go ahead and tighten it up. I'll do it one more time. And I'll do this one here at the bottom as well. So 37 foot-pound is not really tight, okay? So if you're doing it by hand, you don't want to over tighten it. Okay, so that's it. So having a torque wrench is very helpful for working with cars. So if you think you're going to be working a lot with cars, you may want to get a torque wrench. Those are about $25 in Amazon, so that's going to be a good investment. Now, having a torque wrench when you're working with car is very helpful because it helps you to tighten all your screws to the right specs. Okay, I'll put the link on the one I'm using in the description below. And basically, this is how you install the new brake pads into your car. So now my next step is putting the wheels back in. So I'm going to put that in. I don't have to show that on the video, but the lug nut spec is 94 foot-pound. So if you're installing it in a Honda Odyssey, for the lug nut, you want to tighten it to 94 foot-pound. Okay, so the next step will be to put the cover back in. And if you see right now, there's a little overflowing there. That's why I put a rag under it. Okay, so you just want to put the cover back in and want to wipe it off. Okay, so you want to wipe off any brake fluid that falls into your hoses. You don't want to damage those hoses. After this, you want to go inside your vehicle, and basically you want to start your car. So I'm just going to start my car, and you want to press on your brake. Okay, so you want to pressurize it back. So just want you to notice this. The first time I'm going to press on this, it's going to be really deep. See that? It's all the way. And you want to keep doing that. So now it's getting more fluid in. Okay, so once you feel that it's not going as deep anymore, then you should have a proper pressure there already. So you want to go back and check your reserve container. Okay, so my reserve container is still full. It's actually a little higher than the max, but I'll leave it like that for now. And my next is basically you just want to follow the break-in procedure on your brake pads. And after that, you want to check your container again, make sure that you have enough fluid there. If it's lower, then you want to refill it. If it's too high, you want to take some out. Okay, and I hope that you found this video helpful to you. And I just want to ask you a favor, if you can help me out by clicking the subscribe button and also click the like button and comment down below. And thank you for watching.